Okay. Yeah, we're rolling. So, yeah, I made a mistake one time when I was streaming with Penny where we were playing some I think it was one of the Mario Kart games and I hit the stream button in OBS but completely forgot to hit it on YouTube. So like we were starting a stream and just being completely unaware of what's
Oh
going on.
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was there for that one. The where you tried out the DLC, right?
It might have been. I don't remember which one, but excuse me, just getting comfortable in the chair here.
Oh
Actually, yeah,
snap.
I'm good here. All right, so you ready to start?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
people. Mokhtar, hello. How are you doing? We're doing good. You
Let
doing
me
good,
see if I
Gabby?
could let me see if I can check out the chat on my end too real quick, just so that we have it. Ooh. Don't mind me being super slow. I will be just a moment. That's my finger. Hi guys. And boom.
Kind of wish that the
All
chair
right.
was one of those that could like very easily roll around, but okay. Yeah, I can't decide where to sit. Um,
All set.
Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and start. So, hello everybody, Bloodman Bobby here, back with Gabby. How are you doing?
Hello.
It's been a while since we talked about Owl House. So, you want to actually start by like maybe introducing yourself, Gabby, since I know have quite a few subscribers and followers ever since we last talked about the Owl House. So, you
Oh
want to talk a
shoot.
bit about yourself, introduce yourself, Gabby?
Hi everyone. For those of you who aren't too familiar with me, my name is Gabriela Racias. I'm a big fan of animation. I was there with Bobby when we were covering what I think the main thing we covered for the most part was Star versus the Forces of Evil, along with a
Mhm.
couple of movies as well.
Yeah.
I can't think of any particular names right off the top of my head, but
Deadpool 2, 1917. Yeah. Yeah, we often go to
there
the
you
movies with
go.
our friend Steven. Admittedly, not as much these days because of a certain pandemic, but yeah, we're movie fans, I guess you could tell. I mean, yeah, so yeah, we've known each other for like a really, like, I don't know about really long time, but like I still remember, like, we were friends in high school. We worked
Oh
together on
yeah,
Shakespeare.
like we
And
went to the same high school, all that good stuff, you know.
yeah, which was also where I gained an interest in talking about like shows and movies. Like had it not been for that AP literature class we were in, I don't think we would be doing this right now. Which
Yeah, I think we can. I think we can give credit to Mr. Verrier.
if he's
Shout out to
watching.
Mr. V, Cerritos High,
Yeah,
anybody
if
who
I
knows
ever
him.
if I ever meet him again, like I really want to thank him because yeah, that class really like introduced me to a lot. But anyway, speaking of what we're doing here, we're here to talk about Owl House because the show started. The second half of the second season is airing again. They came out with new episodes. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cover the first one that they came back with last week because our schedules got really screwed up. Low Syndicate 12. Is that you, Hunter? I'm just trying to guess from the comments. But yeah, so we're gonna cover both Follies at the Coven Day Parade. I have a really tough time remembering that episode name. And also Elsewhere and Elsewhen. And also, because I forgot to mention this in the description,
Is it elsewhere? Is it elsewhere and elsewhere? What?
I think it's
I get
Elsewhere and Elsewhen. Like we're
elsewhere
getting
and
tongue tied on these
elsewhen.
episodes.
Okay, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. That makes
yeah.
sense.
hmm they should just name all the episodes "Knock Knock Knocking on Hooty's Door"
Knock knock knocking on Hooty's
because of
door
how
part
amazing that one
50
is.
now. What?
Yeah. And also, by the way, for those following me on Twitter, did anybody get fooled today when I said that my name is Blue Moon Penny?
Hey.
Yeah, I
That
was
was fun. That was
Yeah, I was kind of
fun.
hoping people would be like, "What's going on?" It seems like this year the big like kind of trend, April Fool's trend on YouTube is to just say you're shutting down the channel. This is your last video, and making it seem like you're saying goodbye.
Why? there's no need for that violence, guys. We don't have to go there. No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. But so let's start off with Follies at the Coven Day Parade. So what is this episode about, Gabby?
Oh, snap. Give me a quick moment to collect my thoughts.
King dies.
No!
No!
I would not be this amused. I would not be this energetic and happy if that's what happened in the episode.
No.
I would just be like, okay, I'm done. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
No.
Also, by the way, like heads up, we are going to talk about spoilers, and oh my goodness, these two episodes. I almost said spoilers. These two episodes, reveal some pretty big stuff. So.
Oh, I think particularly the second one.
Oh yeah, the second.
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna say the second one has like the big stuff.
Yeah.
But let's see. Okay, so that's right. So we come back to Luz after she's had her whole deal, getting to see her mom and talk with her again. And the last thing she leaves her mom with is hearing her mom say, please promise me that once you're done with all of this and you find a way back home, that you're coming back here and you're staying here and not going back.
Yeah.
And so she hasn't told anybody yet, except Eda and King. And it boils up into this whole deal where she projects it onto Kikimora, who's Kikimora. She comes across her talking to her family on the phone in a similar situation where she's like, oh, I'm loyal to King Belos, but I miss my family. I wish I could go see you guys. And the family's like, you got to choose between us or King Belos. And Luz is like, oh my gosh, I can help her. If I can help her and she can figure something out, that means there's hope for me. Wait, no, I'm doing it so that I can help Eda meet up again with Raine. That was the name, right? Raine?
Yeah, Raine.
Yeah, Raine. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that brings Eda and King into it. So now that's like, I'm trying to help Kikimora, but I'm trying to help Eda, but really it's about me, but really no, because Kikimora and Raine.
Yeah. Also, by the way, palm stings, really? Palm stings? Like,
palm stings.
Yeah, because that's where Kikimura's family, like, the whole family reunion was gonna be. Like, all these punny names in, like, the Disney Channel shows, like Hex Mix. I think Star had a lot of, like, very punny names, too, like Quest By.
Quest By, oh my gosh, Quest By. That just... that brought back memories. Oh man, it feels like it was just yesterday, but then you look back, it's like, oh my gosh, how many years has it been?
Yeah, they don't kid when they say when you like get to be an adult, like time seems to fly fast.
For real.
In retrospect, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so this all boils up, and they make a plan to basically kidnap Raine and Kikimora. Stage a kidnapping, I believe, is a more adequate way to put it.
Yeah.
And Hootie, King, Eda, and Luz are all in on it. They're making the plan. They're putting everything together. Meanwhile, it turns out that Raine was getting some weird tea juice herbal thing from this plant lady.
The head of the plant coven, Terra Snapdragon, which, by the way, now when I think of Terra Snapdragon, because I follow, like, the smartphone industry, I just think of cell phones when I hear her name. Like, do you know why?
Cell phones? That does sound like an interesting name for a cell phone brand, like, do you know why? Snapdragon.
Yeah, because Snapdragon, that's the name of the processor you often find in Android phones. Like, a lot of Samsung phones and LG
that's
use
cool.
Snapdragon. So I'm just like, now when I think of her, I just think of, like a cell phone, evil cell phone that scary plants and tea.
The evil cell phone that will feed you terrible, creepy plants and tea that'll make you forget your memories.
Mm-hmm. that make you stay tied to the Emperor's Coven and make sure you never ever leave, because that's what happens with Raine.
Yeah. And so we, at first, we're not quite too sure exactly to what extent this tea has been affecting Raine. But then they meet up with Eda, because, Eda kidnaps them and they're there in the alleyway. And Eda tells Raine, like, oh, hey, don't worry, I'm going to get you out of here. And Raine's like, what? I can't see you. I can't talk with you. I can't be seen with you. We haven't talked in like how many years? And it was like if they had completely forgotten the whole deal with Eda, they'd reconnected and played that music. So Eda's just distraught because she's just like, they don't remember me.
And they have their like big fight, but they don't want to hurt each other too badly, which it got me thinking, because it seems like this whole tea is affecting Raine like gradually, I guess you could say, because I'm
kind of, yeah.
At least that's how I took it, because like I was watching Raine and I was like, so far they're like like I can't be with you, I don't want to hurt you too badly, even though they're having this kind of like this duel in the alley. So it just gets me thinking, what's gonna happen later on, when they bring Raine back. Is Raine gonna be even more like resistant, and Eda and the rest are gonna have to figure out how we're gonna like snap Raine out of this?
That's the thing, because there's a whole deal with the memory, and there's a whole reason they're telling Raine that they need to take the tea with the headaches.
Yeah.
Right. And the question is, are the headaches actually coming from the tea? Or are they doing something else to induce those headaches onto Raine? Was Raine legitimately having some sort of headache from something completely unrelated? We don't really ever get any answers about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet it's just another deal that comes with the tea, just so that Raine has a reason to think, oh, okay, I need to take this tea. It's going to take away the headaches.
Yeah.
Right?
Help me recover from like the last time.
Yeah. And I feel like there's going to be some sort of component involving their song, but with like Eda and Raine's song, to kind of like bring Raine's memories back, or
kind of
snap them out of it, or something, something along those lines.
Is it kind
just
of like,
because? Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of like Remember Me from Coco?
I mean, if you want to put it that way.
Not to get you all like teary-eyed, but like that's like.
Oh, don't mind me while I just like cry for hours on end while I just go through the whole experience of watching Coco with my mom.
I think even my dad like teared up, and he doesn't usually like cry during movies. Yeah, but
if you're gonna cry at any movie, it's probably gonna be like something like Coco. If it wasn't Coco, it was one of the other movies, either Encanto, Turning Red.
Soul made me cry like a baby.
Soul, I heard a lot of people got really teary-eyed with Soul, and I still haven't watched it. I need to watch it, but
yeah, I mean, remember I got choked up when I saw like when we saw 1917.
Oh, there was a lot of emotions with that.
Watching Soul, but yeah, we're getting all sidetracked. So talked about the whole thing with Raine. Where to next?
I think from there we can go to the part where Amity is in the audience watching the parade, picks up on Luz's plan, follows her with Kikimora, and sees when Kikimora is about to double cross her. Because we see Terra Snapdragon coming up, pretending that she doesn't know where they are, and she's like, "Oh, how? That's too bad. That Kikimora doesn't want to work with King Belos anymore." Right when he was going to give her a promotion, all of that, and Kikimora's eyes just light up, and she's like, "Wait, promotion?"
Which the promotion was just You live. You get to live.
Yeah, it's just you live. But Kikimora doesn't know that yet, and she's all like, "Oh, hey, you know what? Screw you! I'm being kidnapped. Hey, come over here. I can bring these children to you, and I've caught these kids. And right after they give her back her dragon too, which is like, really, really, you going to go there? That's just dirty, But yeah, can I just say I love the dynamic between Amity and Luce. It's just held up so well.
Honestly, that was probably one of my favorite aspects of the episode, if not my favorite. Like, especially seeing like Amity, like genuinely being concerned. What's the future of her relationship with Luce is gonna be? Because she picks up Luce's phone, like Luce accidentally loses it at school, and she's like, I don't want to invade her privacy, but. And when she does, like toward the end, when she meets up with Luce, she's trying to ask her what's up, and she does tell Amity like what happened.
Right, and instead of just peeking in and watching it herself, she confronts Luce about it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the example they're setting with this, because oftentimes it's going to be like the whole thing where it's like, oh, we got to learn why we don't, invade other people's privacy. But it's like, no, we're not going to go there. We're going to set the example. This is what you should do. And I don't know, it's refreshing, because a lot of times they just kind of use it as a teaching moment, which I get. It's not bad. It can work. It's good, but it's just refreshing to see, kind of like a really healthy example of a relationship, and how to get around those boundaries and how to work with them in a productive way, and it turns out so well in the end, because Luce is just like, yeah, you know what? I've been holding stuff back from you, but we're going to put it all out in the open. And it's not just something they're saying. Like right then and there, she explains everything that's going on to Amity, and it's just like, thank you. Now you guys can work together as as like girlfriends. It's like it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Great example of partnership. I'm just so happy.
Yeah, like I said, the whole aspect was one of my favorite aspects of the episode. Another one I also really liked. I liked a lot of the jokes they did with Hootie and King. I don't know. I just had a ball watching, because the whole diversion was that Hootie and King are in this Emperor Belos float, and then when it looks like they're in big trouble, what does Hootie start doing in the Belos float? He starts jumping around in the.
Oh yeah, he's all like, "Oh, I am your god, worship me!" And he's just like, bah.
Yeah.
And King with the fireworks though.
Mm-hmm.
King with the fireworks, where he, who was it? It was one of the students. It was Amity's older brother.
Yeah.
Yes! Amity's older brothers are like, oh yeah, there's all this. And then King is like, is it legal? He's like, which answer is going to make you want them more?
Well, yeah, I think I guess what, answer King got.
Yeah, I think they were both on the same level. I'm pretty sure they were both like, I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought that was probably the funniest part of the episode, just seeing Hootie jumping around in all his hootiness. So.
Oh yes, that was glorious. Just like just how he was just making light of this cult aspect of the society that he was in. I was just like, whoa, wait, are you really going? That? I mean, it was glorious. I know it wasn't supposed to be taken as making fun of it, but it just comes up in a way where it's just like, wow, you really went there. And I don't know if it's one of those situations where the logic of the places, the citizens are really just none the wiser,
Uh-huh.
or is low key, some people down there were supposed to be like, "Oh, how dare you just talk like that? Like you're not Emperor Belos. Why are you talking like that? That's so so blatant."
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, well,
Yeah, I don't know. I just still take it as like, there is still, a lot of people who still think that, like, Belos is like, really cool on their side and all that good stuff.
oh yeah, and I think the parade really shows that just because you could see so many people were like, "Yeah, Emperor Belos!"
Like, yeah, yeah, and I remember there was like one person who had like the letters EB on like their shirt. Or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And he had like the foam hands and the flag and everything, and you're just like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And one part we completely forgot to mention. Right before the parade begins, we have this message from Emperor Belos. I can't believe I completely forgot about that up to this point.
The message?
Yeah, there's a message, and Kikimora introduces him. Oh wait, no, that's afterwards, isn't it?
That's at the end when Belos comes through hologram vision. And
all right.
Well, we're getting.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
it's not even that far off.
Yeah.
So after all of that, they're chasing Hootie and King. Lewis and Amity got crossed, like screwed over by Kikimora.
Mm-hmm.
Snapdragon puts Kikimora in her place. It's like, you shut your mouth. You're lucky you're alive. Get back over here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then we get to the point where Kikimora is brought up to stage. She comes up onto the microphone and she introduces a message from Emperor Belos, which is projected in this kind of like illusion spell thing.
Yeah, I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know if I should have said hologram, but it's kind of like transparent projected video. I'm not doing a good job explaining it, but
think of video projection, but magic.
Yeah, basically, yeah, kind of like those, like those like presentations in like school and stuff. But
but it bursts into fireworks at the end.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and what does Belos promise Bonesborough?
Oh gosh. I just remember him going, "Oh, you guys have shown me such support and I appreciate it so much, and I've been so scared to show my face. Here it is." And, he's like, it's like a Darth Vader moment.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's actually really, well, not super, 100%, but I mean, just in the fact that, both characters, they got they went through some stuff, you could tell.
Oh, yeah. A lot of stuff. I just came up with that on the...
It's like, I recognized, yeah.
I just came up with that connection on the spot, too. Like, my brain's like, you know what? That's like Darth Vader. I'm like, it is.
But I don't think, well, actually, no. Well, actually, no, I'm going to save what I'm saying for the next episode. Yeah, next episode is just, really big stuff.
Did we miss anything from the first one? I don't know why I feel like
we went over it. I mean, basically, the episode ends off, and I said spoilers with Belos.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you a world free of wild magic.
That's it. Yes. And... yeah, that part, just hearing everyone cheered, you're just like, wait, what? I don't know, I was kind of confused. I'm like, not everybody can be that excited over that. Like, who has this agenda? Like, who's like, yeah, I'm scared of wild magic. I don't know. I feel like we haven't seen that a lot in the show, except from Emperor Belos.
There are some characters who, at least at some point, were kind of resistant or unsure of Luce, pointing out she's a human and that kind of stuff. But it seems to be mostly, it doesn't come from, the same kind of, hatred that Belos hates. It's kind of more, I don't know, it's not that kind of, sort of animosity. It's kind of more that's a human? What?
Yeah, and not only that, but even when we saw how people were interacting with Eda, I mean, sure, they're like, "Oh, Wild Witch, you're not in a coven. Blah, 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 blah." It wasn't ever really kind of like, "Oh, you're going to hurt me." it was a lot more of, oh, you must be so badly off. Like, I could not be without a coven, you know?
Yeah, I
Which
see
is
what you
weird
mean.
because it's like, okay, how, if you feel like somebody else is more in danger by not having a coven, why are you concerned about yourself in that sense and feeling like nobody should be out of a coven? Because I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
It's
know if
not
it's just
it.
something people go along with. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
It kind of like seems like instead of the like townspeople driven by like a hatred toward wild witches, it might just be a thing where it's like they're going along with Belos, where it's like oh,
Yeah, I feel
beautiful
like that's
place,
much more.
wow. It's like
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you don't want mild magic? Okay, sure, all
mhm.
right. I just
I
think you're
guess
cool.
I guess they like I'm trying to like think of how it could be taken in different ways. Maybe it's a thing where it's like they take it as like, oh, a safe, like cool place, like oh, take me there now.
I don't know. I just find it so funny. I don't know why. It's just it amuses me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, so that's the first episode. That
Yep.
was what was the title again?
The second one or the first one?
First one, first one.
Follies at the Coven Day Parade.
Follies at the Coven Day Parade, and now we're at Elsewhere and Elsewhen.
Mm-hmm. Speaking
Yes.
of Emperor Belos, but we'll get there when we get there as Mr. Incredible.
Oh, are we going to go there? Okay.
I said
All
spoiler
right.
reviews, so I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I
totally.
just don't know if we were going to call it that. You know what I mean? But we'll explain what we're talking about in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, like, what's yeah. So what's elsewhere and elsewhen about?
Okay, so we have. Oh my gosh. We have Lilith. She just got accepted into a new job. She's going to be working as a curator at this museum,
Mm-hmm.
history museum.
Yeah, a natural history museum. In fact, the supernatural museum of history.
Ah, this one lady comes over and mocks her over it. You know, her mentor, who kind of had her in the Emperor's Coven, saw her, you know, kind of get kicked out of Belos's little posse and be like, well, I hope you enjoy your little quaint job,
Mm-hmm.
you know, bye. And that just kind of like infuriates Lilith to where she's like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna make the coolest, you know, exhibit. It's gonna knock your socks off, and you're going, you know, you're going to wish you never said that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, you go, girl.
Yeah, something I like seeing in this episode. Like, I really like seeing these kind of story arcs where it really does feel like you're watching a character go through a legitimate like life transformation. Because it's interesting looking at like I think back to the first season where Lilith was one of the villains and this really like scary character, and now that she's left the Emperor's Coven, even like went back to her mother, like even though I mean she's definitely like very like fierce towards like her former mentor, she seems a lot like happier like in her life now.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't seem all like Sheldon kind of kept to herself like she had before. You know,
Yeah,
especially since she's worked things out so well with Eda.
yeah. Did you
I feel
notice
like
like
yeah.
her hair is starting to like curl at the bottom, just like when she was a kid?
I didn't really notice because the main thing I saw was how she had it like wrapped up most of the episode.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I remember DTVA, Disney TVA's Instagram, they put up a clip of like the scene where Lilith is like dancing in excitement, and I
Oh
noticed that like
wow.
oh her hair started like it's curled at the bottom, kind of like when she was a kid.
Oh, because for her to have been the way it had been up until this point, she had to be like upkeeping it, you know, straightening it, dyeing it, all kinds of stuff.
Which it
Uh,
still died, but yeah, I thought that was like an interesting detail.
yeah, you know, it's cool. You know, she's just kind of coming more into her own self instead of this person that she was expected to be. And we're here for it. We're here for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, So from there, Amity's helping Luz figure out more stuff for the portal door.
Mm-hmm.
They come across this entry. What was the name they had for the little mouse?
I honestly forgot the name of the
I forgot.
mouse, but I know the mouse that projects.
Yeah, the little mouse projects that little
Philip
segment,
Wittebane.
and we see the writer talking about how he's going to go find the collector.
Right.
And so they're like, okay, so we got to find this collector. Maybe they can help us. And Luz comes up with the idea. I think it was from asking Eda, who had a book full of basically their equivalents of like cryptids and what's the word, like urban legends, which included this piece on time pools, were they called?
Yeah, I think so, but yeah, time pools.
Right, so these time pools will just kind of like let you go look into a different point in time. So Lewis is like, oh, you know what? I can find one of those, see if it goes into the same period of time as the writer is alive. Go talk to him and see if he can help me find the collector or where they are, and maybe even give me some tips as to what may be going on my end and what I did wrong with the portal door.
Yeah.
So Eda's like, okay, go talk to Lilith. And Lilith just lights up at the idea. It's like, you gave me an idea. That's exactly a great idea, for my exhibit. And Luz is like, heck yeah, great. So they go and they look for it. Luz and Lilith have to like figure out how to make this one apparatus she has work. So they use Titan's blood to power it, which I thought was cool, kind of like, all right, we're making use of what we have. And they come across this beach that is just like, there's no little tide pools that you could see, but when you walk around or you feel around the sand, there'll be little pockets where you can go through and you're looking into another time period. So that's what the time pools end up being. So they look around, they put little sticks all over it, and Luz finds the one that is for the time period that the writer is alive. They mentioned the name of the time period, but I just can't remember it for the life of me.
The main thing I remember is this was back when, like, wild magic wasn't banned, and and was a big thing in the episode, like, because for the most part it seemed like everything was fine, like, in that time period, nothing chaotic. It was it's actually really nice.
I love how they kind of like put that into perspective with that little clip we have with the little girl who makes an abomination. And the abomination is like giving her a piggyback ride, and she makes it a flower crown.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh. It really drives in the whole, why did Belos even like have anything against this to begin with,
Yeah, which
like,
we'll get there. It's toward the end. Like, this whole review, we're just building up for that ending.
I know.
It's like an explosion. It's just like, oh my goodness. But okay, so should we talk about the part where they team up with Philip to meet the collector, supposedly?
Yes. They come across Philip being seemingly, at first, bullied by these two guys, one being green and one being red.
Yeah.
Going on, reading his like journal entries and making fun of him and telling him, oh, you owe us. And Luz fights him off, sort of, and just kind of like, oh, are you okay? Whatever. Helps Philip pick up his papers and, tells him, oh, hey, you know what, like, I'm into this kind of deal you're working on, can you help me out? Maybe I can help you out. And before the two big guys who were kind of like giving Philip a hard time walk away, one of them goes, you should ask him what happened to Blue. And the moment that we hear that, I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because that part just really kind of starts to pull in this whole idea of Philip's not completely honest about how he goes about things. We don't know what his deal is yet necessarily. Like, he's not painted in any particular kind of light up to that point, but it's just kind of like that whole deal of like, oh, he has secrets. He has skeletons in his closet, but the question is, what are they?
Yeah.
And that was really interesting because I didn't know if they were really going to go there with this character, but I like the approach they took.
Mm-hmm.
From there, Philip agrees because Luce offers to help him find the collector.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, deal. They go on this adventure. They come to this tower.
It looked like some kind of cave, which turns out to be inside of that giant skull.
Right. Okay. And Luce is like, no, Lilith is like, oh, how are we even in here? This is like sacred area. We're not supposed to be in here. And Philip is like, oh, that explains why nobody wants to come here with me most of the time. And you're just like, are you sure? I don't know. What's going on here? It just kind of builds up and builds up. And so they go in, they find the door. The door has a puzzle. But I believe Luce points out that the puzzle is mostly finished.
Mm-hmm.
No, was it Luce or Lilith?
I remember Lilith was trying to figure it out.
I know somebody. Now I'm like I'm like second guessing myself. Like, I'm not sure if it was Luce or if it was Lilith, but somebody points out how the puzzle was nearly finished. But Lilith is really excited and she starts figuring out the puzzle. Philip walks off. And Lilith had already been getting kind of weird vibes from Philip too, where she's like, I don't know, Luce, something's off with this. And Luce is like, oh, it's okay. And when we go back to look at what Philip's doing nearly outside of the cave, we see him writing how he like valiantly tried to fight off the creature, but he got away. But sadly, his companions were not able to get out. And we're just like, but they haven't even opened the door yet.
Yeah, big sign.
Yeah.
Really off. Like, for me, like, that was where I was like, wait a minute, there's something, definitely off.
And there we get to the point where the door's starting to open. And this is like, what's even behind the door? Anything? You're like, okay, so if the puzzle is nearly finished, what did you need us for? And he's like, oh, I needed a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, shoot. Why did you go? Like, what? Ah, man, I felt so, because I don't know, I was hoping I was going to like Philip. I'm gonna be honest. I was just kind of like, I wanted to like him.
Yeah, I was kind of in that. Yeah, well, I'll talk about like some theories people had about like Philip like toward the end, but like I was also kind of in that like like maybe it's a thing, but then when it's like oh, I needed a sacrifice, I was just kind of like okay.
Because regardless of any kind of theories or what we've been thinking about the connection Philip had to everything, we could still it still kind of felt like we were going to have this kind of like slow progression of changing from this nice guy to this like really messed up person. But it's just like nope, he was a jerk to begin with, and it's just I wasn't expecting it, not like that, so it was an interesting surprise. Like, it really drove in this, like it really added to the story, so I'm here for it. But it was just like, it was a surprise, like big time.
I think like it was like pretty surprising.
Right. And so they open the door. There's this creature. Moose recognizes the creature as this kind of dinosaur that they'd seen in another one of the time pools.
Yeah. Really nice use of foreshadowing, I might add.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And Lilith had mentioned how it has a ticklish spot.
Mm-hmm.
And so Luce goes straight for the ticklish spot. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I listen to you. And once she sees Luce going for the ticklish spot, be like, oh yeah, has this moment where she's like, oh, you were listening. And I'm just like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that whole time, we see them have this great kind of like they have this whole like Lilith being the cool aunt thing, and I just loved how they
I still
how
remember,
they work with that.
Luce at one point referred to Lilith as Aunt Lilith, which again,
cool,
like, wow,
cool Aunt Lilith,
yeah, cool Aunt Lilith,
cool Aunt Lilith.
Yeah, again, like so interesting to me how again Lilith goes from the scary villain. People were using #fuck Lilith, and now it's like
yeah. How are y'all feeling now, huh? This is why we don't jump the gun, guys. Okay, this is the redemption arcs are a thing, and I don't know. I couldn't be mad at Lilith. I'm sorry. Okay, I couldn't be mad at Lilith. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I just I couldn't be mad at her, even when it was still kind of like, oh man, you really went there, But I digress.
Right. Yeah, I was just saying that to say, I like these kind of like, transformative arcs. It's also, maybe not to the same degree, but kind of like what happened with like Amity.
Yeah, and this is the kind of stuff that people were hoping for with characters in Steven Universe, particularly Jasper. I remember, and looking back at that and seeing how they did it here, I'm like, if you're gonna have a redemption arc, that's how you do it. That's how you do it, because it's really hard to get down. It's really easy to mess up. So I'm not surprised that we didn't really see it a lot. For example, in Steven Universe. But holy mac, was it so well done in the Owl House? Like, it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. From there, I don't remember a good chunk. Like, I don't remember that chunk right after that.
I mostly remember, again, Lilith and Luce try to get answers from Philip, and then Lilith bops, like, Philip on the nose.
She gives him a nosebleed. She just kind of goes for that. I remember that. She's like, come on, Luce, let's go.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's this part where, he's all like, oh, those witches!
Yeah.
And
actually,
it's like...
you know what? Before we get there, I want to talk about probably the most sentimental part of the episode.
Oh, okay.
Eda's dad.
I completely forgot about that. But, oh my gosh, there's the whole thing, like this whole B story where Eda's trying to kind of deflect talking with her dad, just kind of trying to escape from having to talk with her dad. Not that she's scared of her dad or that he's mean or anything, but she just feels really bad because of how he got hurt when the whole curse thing happened.
Yeah, with the owl beast.
Yeah, I was sad. Oh, and she finally goes out and talks to him, and it's like the most heartwarming thing ever.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So yeah, it turns out, well, yeah, her dad basically says, he wants to leave the past in the past, and even though he can't make a talisman anymore, he still helps out with the Bat Queen, and even gives Eda like this seed for a talisman, right?
It's for the trees that I used to carve the talismans out of. Because it's a specific type of wood.
Yeah, and for a second there, I was thinking, maybe Eda could give it to Luce, but Luce already has that like piece of the tree that Eda gave her, like in the previous episode.
and I feel like that's more of a way for Luce to kind of figure things out because they're kind of like the unconventional type when it comes to like how they get around magic, which I've always been down with. Like it just makes sense for her to be like make it with her own hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of like that fits Luce.
Mm-hmm. I guess the big questions people are still trying to figure out, what's Luce's talisman? Is it going to be a bad or an otter with a vengeance? Or...
Oh, an otter with a dark side.
Otter with a dark side. Yeah, because I remember people were pointing that out from the Grom episode.
Yep. That one never gets old. It just makes me laugh every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess it's still a thing that remains to be seen, but yeah, I also remember the dad was like, I heard I have a grandson now, aka, King.
It's King. Talk about fur babies.
Yeah, when is Hootie gonna finally give King that letter from who might
Oh, that's true. It's just not turned up, has it?
Yeah. Like,
I don't know. I guess at one point I was just like, okay, Hootie digested it.
Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm still holding on to hope, but who knows?
I mean, a lot of stuff has come back in pellets. I mean, don't we get to see in this episode like a whole bunch of like owl pellets that Hootie coughs up with all kinds of stuff in them?
Yeah, like he's trying to serve them like their snacks at that party.
You don't think it got regurgitated in that, do you?
Oh god. Now they gotta regurgitate all the guests and just like go perform the Heimlich maneuver on that's gonna be interesting. But okay, so yeah, that was like I said. Also, what'd you think of the part when Eda tried to pretend she was Lilith?
I don't know. I just laughed. I couldn't take that seriously.
Yeah. I like how the mom, I think she knew from the second she saw her that...
She said it! She said she doesn't seriously think I'm that dumb, does she?
Yeah. Okay, now let's get to the, super parts of
back to the part where we're seeing Philip get all mad and show his scar here on his nose.
Yeah.
But here's the big thing. Here's the big thing. We turn around the camera. We go down to this low angle and we see him grab a talisman and crack it open and basically like inhale its like life juices. To see him go all green and glowy, just kind of like this weird trippy deal. Now, my first thought was, is he supposed to be Belos? And I was quite quick to go there, The only reason I can't quite go there is in part because the scarring is off, right? And Belos does have the pointy ears to indicate being a witch.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean that we can throw that theory out of the window necessarily, because we did also see in this episode how Philip has great control over the glyphs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, kind of what Luce has learned.
Right, but in a very intricate way in which he incorporates a whole bunch of glyphs to make very complex spells. So I wouldn't put it past him to have some sort of like thing either tattooed on him, because we do see him in that scene have his arm full of tattooed glyphs, where he could implement some sort of like illusion spell to make him look that way. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
To be fair, the show could be like, it kind of ends on like, it's like the definition of a cliffhanger.
Right, because there's nothing else after that. It's just kind of like, well, yeah, makes sense out of that, guys.
For me, that Philip could be Belos is when he said, I just have to live long enough. Like that line
That too.
could be a sign. But yeah,
Right.
like I mean, as a person, because I usually don't like go for like confirming things unless it's like flat out like confirmed when it comes to
Right.
anything. But
And that's
yeah,
where we are right now. We can't really say anything for sure, but there's a lot.
yeah,
There's a lot. They've basically done everything but confirm it.
yeah. Basically, now it's just a question, big question of where's this gonna go?
Yeah, like is it what we think it is?
Hmm.
This also explains why he's so interested in the portal door. This explains where he started with the whole Palisman deal.
And why like he's so against like wild
Why he's
magic.
against
And
wild
what it
magic.
got me to think is how the town for the most part seems to be like going along with Belos.
Hmm.
What if like it's the thing where it's like okay, so this is like completely fan theory time. I don't use these days. I don't usually like giving out like fan theories, but I like to speculate every once in a while. What if like Belos uses that incident? If it turns out Philip is Emperor Belos, like uses it as like as kind of fuel to say, see, like blame Luce the Human, like all those years ago there was that meetup.
I don't know because the way this episode works is really tricky. Like most of the time, uh, when we see like time travel episodes, they typically have this weird kind of thing where the characters aren't really recognized later in time by the same person.
Yeah.
And here, if it's weird because in a way Emperor Belos does kind of see Luce, where it's like she stands out to him. The question is he hasn't been open about why.
Yeah. Even in the previous episode, she found it where it's like, I'm gonna meet Belos again, because was it Terra Snapdragon who said something about like, oh, the Emperor is looking forward to meeting you.
Yes, looking forward to meeting with you. Yes.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
I don't know. Manny Pacquiao help?
Manny Pacquiao. Sure. Wrestling. The answer to everything.
But yeah, in all seriousness, but yeah, it's like, oh my god, because when I saw that ending, it reminded me so much of like, although this is an example where it's like it was confirmed to be the return of a character of like when Toffee returned at the end of the second season of Star, but this time going through, essentially possessing Ludo, like, but the difference here is that was definitely Toffee. We don't know if like it's Belos,
Yeah, yeah.
Belos.
There's just like that one. The only reason we can't really even fully go there is mainly because they look so different. But all we gotta do is say, "Yep,
Yeah,
that's Emperor Belos."
And like I was like partial to that theory that what if Philip is Belos, and like the one like sign for me was that when Philip is introduced, like he was introduced as like this very secretive character, always like in silhouette, being like very like kind of like secretive and like sneaky in the way he talks. So it's that kind of thing where, I mean, again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm flat out saying it's Emperor Belos. It just kind of reminded me of those shows where, like, they keep, like, the villain character in, like, secrecy.
Right, yeah, and again, it's...
I mean, okay, I think I could phrase it in, like, this kind of way. If I say, it was, like, because I was asking myself the questions, like, are they pulling a Fire Lord Ozai, sort of?
I don't know. I don't know.
And yeah, and when I say that again, to be more specific, I'm talking about how in the first couple seasons of Avatar, Ozai was always like, in shadow. They never showed his face, and they didn't reveal it until. But it's a different kind of like a situation. It's
Yes,
just
yes.
the question. It's not a question of we don't know what Philip looks like. It's is Philip? Sorry, I hit the microphone. Is Philip Emperor Belos? Like that kind of a question.
Yeah. I think the closest comparison I have is the whole deal with how they went around rose quartz and pink diamond and Steven Universe. Because they kind of kept that in the dark through most of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of it was how you were explaining, how they introduced Philip, where Rose Quartz was just like, there was always this shadow following Rose Quartz. Like they painted her as a nice person, but people kept pointing out how she was like in silhouette or in shadow. Or there was this kind of like this menacing aura around her picture.
Right.
And I think we're doing like it does seem kind of like an opposite kind of situation here, and only in the order of which they're revealing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another way where I'm kind of like I really, really want to be like I think I'm pretty sure I don't know, guys. There's a lot to go off of here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Philip is Belos.
Yeah, we're just like
It's just like I can't say that he is because oh.
But if they ever reveal that, I'm gonna play the "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire" theme song.
Yeah, and I'll take Who's Who for 500.
That's Jeopardy. But
that's right. My bad.
I mean, that in itself is kind of like $1 million question, and we're now at that anticipation point of finding out. You're absolutely right. You won $1 million.
Yeah.
Sorry, you probably lost a whole bunch of money when you got to this point. Well,
no, if it was Jeopardy, it could be even funnier because of like it's Emperor Belos. It's like I'm sorry, you didn't phrase that as a question.
Yeah. It's like we're at there's so much anticipation. It's like we forget, we forget to phrase it.
Yeah, I just think of Wacko from Animaniacs.
Yeah, what was that? The state capital song.
Yeah, the state capital song where he goes like through this whole thing. He's like, yeah, and those are all the capitals. They are. It's like I'm sorry, you didn't phrase that as a question. And then Yakko takes it over in some other song I remember. Right? Countries of the world.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, man. Poor Wacko. Wacko is probably my favorite Animaniac, too, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least, made for a good state capital song.
Yeah.
Cool. But oh my god.
When I saw that ending, I had to rewatch it though, going back to the end of the episode where we see Philip like inhaling the life juices of a poor Palestinian.
Yeah.
I was just like, did I just see what I thought I saw? What is that? What does it mean? Did I miss something? I went over it. I'm like, no, that's it.
That's it.
It's just him inhaling the life juices of a poor Palestinian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh, okay. That's so direct.
Yeah, but we'll eventually find out. Like,
it's very in your face. Like they have to explain that. They can't just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be asking, if not like to keep going on with that in the story, they're going to be like, can you at least explain it?
Yeah, so it's a really good idea that, like, when I go on Twitter, I never click on where it says Hal House spoilers in the trending.
Shoot. I lost track. I forgot that it aired. And all of a sudden I was seeing stuff pop up on my feed. I'm like, wait. When did it come out? And I went on Dana's Twitter. I said the 19th. I'm like, it's the 25th.
Shoot.
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I just completely lost track. And we just got rid of cable here in my house. So that was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't too against it to begin with. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, wait, no, how do I do this without cable again?
Hmm.
Yeah, but props to Amazon for having the episodes because that's how I was able to watch it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, in my way, I
yay,
went through iTunes because I already have the account.
iTunes.
But
Yes.
yeah, but the point is, we got to see both the episodes. The next one is coming out tomorrow. I wouldn't be
Oh shoot.
surprised if in some parts of the world. The next episode, by the way, is called Any Sport in a Storm. And I gotta be honest, the reason I never did a video, because DTVA put out a list of like the remaining season 2 episodes. I didn't do a video because honestly, I had a hard time like guessing what's gonna happen. So,
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're doing that. It's like,
hmm,
let's guess what it's gonna be about, guys.
yeah. The one that probably, well, two that caught my eye. One only because I get the reference. One was "Oh Titan, Where Art Thou?" It sort of reminded me. There's a Coen Brothers movie
Oh
called "Oh
yeah. Oh
Brother, Where Art
brother, where
Thou?"
art thou? Which is a really trippy movie.
I
Like,
saw
holy man.
the clips, some clips in the trailer. It looks like, yeah,
Yeah,
really.
like the whole deal with the sirens.
Uh huh.
I was just like, whoa. Like, I feel like that was like the trippy scene I've seen from that film, which I don't think I've sat down through the whole film, but I've watched chunks of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah,
whoa.
maybe someday, like, we could do some kind of get together.
Oh
But
yeah, we can.
the
We
only,
that could
yeah,
be on the
only
list.
Coen Brothers movie I've seen was No Country for Old Men, and I was just kind of like, what's going on? But I've seen trailers for some of their other ones,
I
and
feel like I have seen No Country for Old Men. I think for my film class back in high school, but
hmm,
I was just so confused watching. I'm like, what is this?
yeah, but I think it's one of those that like I would have to like sit down and watch again to like get a sense of what's going on.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to be like the movie that takes all of like the cowboy tropes and then flips them on their head?
I guess
I remember it
I don't know.
being
I just
described to
remember
me in
I
that
took it as
way.
a cat and mouse game, but I don't
Right,
know.
mainly because I remember when we were looking at clips from it in the class, they pointed out this scene where there's like a shootout and how, as opposed to how typically when you watch a western, you see the shootouts and it's just kind of like pew 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 pew, and
Hmm.
everybody's falling on the floor and they're just boom dead.
Yeah.
Uh, No Country from Old Men is like, yeah, you sit there in the awkwardness and the pain of that person who you just shot,
Hmm.
and you're just watching them agonize in the shot, and I'm like, okay, so that's what this movie's about.
I see. But yeah. Okay. So yeah. It's not really. It's not a theory. It's just like it kind of reminded me of that film. But the season 2 finale episode named that like really caught my eye. Do you know what it's called?
Oh, what's it called?
King's Tide.
Another king oriented episode? Count me
Oh
in.
boy. Yeah, so I'm just thinking, wow. So in this season, like King is getting like, like kind of a much bigger presence.
I just really love King, and I'm
Yeah.
glad.
Mm-hmm.
He's so fun.
Yeah. I mean,
But
have I
Alex
told
Hirsch
you?
does such a great
Yeah.
job.
Have I told you that like me and my sister Penny, we had this like weird idea of what would happen if King had to babysit Marpos Meteora from Star vs. the Forces of Evil?
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Then how you I think you mentioned some sort of interactions with Kikimora too, but I can't remember off the top.
We have this like idea of like of like where like King constantly causes trouble at Belos's castle and he always gets captured. Or, like it goes really crazy places.
It sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like it's kind of like a darker version of like a Tom and Jerry kind of story.
I mean, that sounds like little like fan comic material, to be honest, where you can just kind
Hmm.
of make little clips of that.
Yeah. I mean, if
That
I knew
sounds
how to
funny.
draw the characters, I would, probably try drawing a comic, but it's mostly just something that like me and Penny just kind of joke around with. Like,
Oh,
it's
that's
kind of
funny.
funny what if scenario.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so yeah, that has been our thoughts on Elsewhere and Elsewhen and Follies at the Coven Day Parade. So
Yay!
yeah, so hopefully next week we'll be able to see Any Sport in a Storm. This time, and I'm not saying like I don't want people sending me Owl House spoilers, but this time I'm trying not to get like too kind of avoidant with them. It's just a thing where it's like if I see one, I'm just like okay, whatever. Which
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to do
Yeah.
that because like I didn't get this is after I saw Elsewhere and Elsewhen. I was scrolling on Instagram and I came across that scene where like Philip takes in the talisman and I was just thinking, thank God I saw the episode. I would have freaked out if I if I got spoiled.
Oh, yeah. Main spoiler I got, I think, was Eda's dad, but they didn't say who he was.
Yeah. I remember
So
yeah,
I just saw the thumbnail. I'm like, who's that? Yeah, I'm not gonna click it.
yeah, I think that was another one. Like I knew it was Eda's dad, but it was a thing where it's like, scroll away, I can't look.
Oh yeah, I had no idea who he was. Was like new guy. Okay,
Yeah, because like
cool. I'm gonna
his
find out
face
on my own.
kind of looks like Ida's, so I was just like, oh, I see the family resemblance.
I thought he was like just from looking at his character design. I almost thought he was going to be associated with Belos.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if it was the beard, but yeah, no, much better. I much prefer just finding out that he's Eda's dad.
Yeah,
much
definitely.
Better.
Yeah, but while we're still here, should we mention that we're going to our first convention like since the pandemic on Sunday?
Yeah, so excited! It's been ages.
Yeah,
it's been ages.
Yeah, I'm mostly going because like I got an email from the organizers saying, hey, you want to renew your press account, and I was like, sure, why not? So yeah, I really can't believe it's been 4 years since I last went to WonderCon. I went with our friend Steven the last time. I just didn't think it would be 4 years. I couldn't go in 2019 because that was when I was job searching, and then 2020, 2021 pandemic got in the way. But now that we're vaccinated,
Yay!
I think we're gonna go film a video there, interview cosplayers and artists. I hope we bump into some of the cosplayers that we've met over the years.
Hopefully, yes, that's gonna be great. It's always great to see familiar faces.
Yeah, and wait, have you been to WonderCon before?
Have I been to WonderCon before? Dude, I went and saw the panel you asked me to go see for you when you couldn't go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man! I thought I even joined you in one of them.
That was for.
I remember going to WonderCon with you. I don't remember Steven going to WonderCon with you.
Yeah, we went to the Long Beach conventions together, but we never been to like WonderCon together.
Yeah.
It was with Steven, but
really, I could have sworn that I came with you to WonderCon, but I don't know. I could just be remembering things incorrectly.
It was the Long Beach conventions because I still remember. You were helping me out with interviews and asking cosplayers.
Yeah, but I particularly remember because one year, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time I went. I feel like it was the first time I went. I had to go 2 days because one time I was going with you to cover stuff, and the second one I was going so that I could go and enjoy it with Colin. Yeah. So one I went on a press pass, and the other one, and this was WonderCon. Yeah, and the second time I went there, and I even saw Ricky Simons over there and all that. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
I see you.
So, yeah.
Hopefully Ricky Simons is there too, because he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Props to Ricky Simons. He's a great guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Very funny.
Yeah, I know we've met Ricky at the Long Beach conventions, and I don't think we're gonna interview him this time. I don't because I don't want him to like, if he recognizes, I don't want him to think that, oh, we have to interview you every single time we meet.
Nah.
So it's just the thing where like if we see him, we'll say hello, like ask for his autograph, and
Yeah, that's my main thing. I'm like, oh hey, hi, hey, can I buy an autograph? It's pretty chill.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a bunch of other stuff to worry about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming back to it, I don't know what it's going to be like going back to a convention after all this, because man, it's been a while and things have changed so much.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and since I mentioned it on social media, I might as well mention I will be cosplaying as Blood Moon Marco. Of course, with actual facial mask, but still, since I haven't cosplayed the character in a really long time, I figured why not?
Yeah.
I wanted to go. I honestly, the Owl House cosplay, I'd really like to do someday, although I probably won't get to do this until after the show is over, is as a Bard student, like a Bard Hexside student, because I feel like that's the Coven I'd probably, if I was a witch, I'd probably connect to the most. And
I feel, yeah.
Yeah, and my talisman would be, what's interesting. Wait, did I tell you what I would say I would pick as the talisman?
Wasn't it like a snowy owl?
Yeah, because I was thinking, I really like learning. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring back a special friend.
Yay!
I really like learning about Olympic mascots.
Wait.
The meetup of the Migas.
This Miga is a little cranky because they've been on the floor this whole time because my brother knocked them over.
And she's always upset that like I don't eat enough maple syrup.
Yeah, this was always complaining about maple syrup too. It's not my fault. I'm trying not to eat that much sugar, okay?
Yeah, but anyway, okay, so it's like, I like learning about Olympic mascots, and one of them, well, actually, there's four. Four of them are actually owls from when the Winter Olympics were in Nagano, Japan in 1998. So I was like, oh, so that would make a good talisman. So yeah, if I ever cosplay as a Hexside student, I could see myself like with like a talisman with one of the what they call the snowlets, because they're snow owls.
Aw.
Yeah.
I feel like I would probably be a bard as well, just because I've always kind of been musically inclined, even though I haven't really indulged in that as much as I used to currently. It's not by choice. I don't know what's going on, but I've had to take it easy on that aspect for a while now. But yeah, I'd probably be a bard if I was going to be in a coven. Because I'm going to be honest, just rolling around, dealing with all kinds of magic and just keeping everything open to try everything.
Yeah.
Also sounds pretty interesting.
Right.
But as far as a talisman, I've been thinking either like a raccoon or like a tanuki or a red panda.
Turning red
and the I'm sorry?
I was gonna say red panda, and I was thinking about turning red.
Turning red. It's funny because it's like, yeah, well, I just watched Turning Red, but like for the longest time now, I've always kind of had this deal where I'm like, I relate to raccoons, tanuki, and red pandas, and then everybody knows how I'm really into Gretzko.
Yeah.
So I just keep getting more and more associated with red pandas.
I see.
So between the three of them, I'm pretty sure it would have to be a red panda over all of them, just because I'm so closely associated to them as far as like in my friend group and all that. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a red panda.
Would it be like Retzko like screaming on top of a staff?
Yeah, just kind of like rocking out on the tops, just like with the.
Yeah, the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually sounds really cool. It's like, hey, it would be a great way, because I remember the last time I went to WonderCon, I ran across a cosplayer who was cosplaying a character that was supposed to be like a combination of Darth Vader and Cinderella's stepmother. So it's like, hey, that's another way to do two kind of franchises in one.
So wait. Cinderella's stepmother?
Mixed with It was one of the Star Wars villains. Well, not
So
Darth
so
Vader. I don't remember.
Lady Tremaine.
Yes.
Oh gosh, was it not Kylo Ren? Was it?
No. It's not.
Okay, but oh, Darth Vader.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't Darth
can't. I
Vader.
can't
It was,
picture that. What?
yeah.
Yeah, Lady Tremaine in Star Wars.
Yeah, I think that was the idea. If
Okay.
anybody wants to see the cosplay, just go look up my WonderCon 2018 video.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I was just like, because I like this idea of like, kind of mixing together different franchises. But yeah, in any case, we'll be at WonderCon this Sunday. So if you see
Yeah.
us, please feel free to say hello.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Hmm.
So happy. I haven't been in a con in so long.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, I think this would be a good place to end off here because yeah, we just completely talked about the two episodes. Looking forward to seeing the next one again. Remind myself what it's called. I mean, did you hear the name of the episode?
no, I just remembered it involved sports.
Yeah, any sport in a storm. Do you have any guesses like what it could be about
Any sport
in a storm?
in a storm.
Is boiling rain coming back, or is storm like a metaphor for shit's going down?
I'm literally just picturing people playing soccer in the rain.
Or in the Owl House case, Grudge be in the boiling rain, but that's
That doesn't sound.
dangerous.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah, because it would probably like burn everybody.
Yeah. Unless they go there, because I mean that's kind of how I remember that's how it kind of seemed when we were in grade school with the whole PE, where we're like hoping it would rain, but it had to rain strong enough just so that they could say, okay, we can't have you do PE
Yeah,
outside
I
today.
relate.
But it was never strong enough. It was never strong enough. We always ended up having to just run on the concrete.
Yeah.
Fun.
I mean, like me personally, I actually like running in the rain. I used to run in the rain when I was on a cross country team in high school. But I was one of
Oh,
those that was kind of hoping that, oh, if it rains, that means no PE. We could just stay inside and watch, like,
yeah.
movies, right? But yeah, it was usually a case of, has to rain strong enough.
No, yeah, I think for me, it wasn't even necessarily like completely that I didn't want to run. I mean, yeah, sure, I was there. I've never been very athletic. I don't think that comes to much of a surprise to anyone. But I mean, the one thing I really enjoyed was that we could always listen to music while we were doing our mile or
Yeah, in
or
high
anything
school,
that
I
was related
remember.
to running.
Do you remember we had
Um,
the same, like, PE class when we were sophomores?
did we?
It was just that we at the time we weren't on speaking terms. We didn't like really talk to each other.
Oh wow. Was that the same one where Green was in? I remember being with Rhiannon one year.
I still remember Rhiannon being in the class. Like
Okay,
she
yeah, yeah,
dressed
yeah.
up as like Princess Peach for Halloween. Yeah, it's funny.
Yes.
We had the same PE class when we were sophomores and same computer graphics class when we were juniors, but we didn't really talk to each other
Yeah.
until we were seniors.
Oh well, yeah. I think maybe a little bit like when we were juniors. Like I know I've started to talk a little more with Steven, partially because of like Mr. Bomarito's class.
Yeah, the
No,
little
that was
Cynthia teacher.
senior. What? No, junior, junior.
That was senior year.
That was senior year.
Yeah.
Man, ah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting
But
the
yeah, yeah,
way
yeah.
things work out. Did I when I was in comp graphics, did I come off as like a quiet, like kind of awkward kid?
I mean, quiet, yeah, but I mean, I'm a bad gauge for that just because I was like the awkwardest of the awkward. Like
Hmm.
I did not fit in with anyone really. I mean, kind of, but not really.
Hmm.
And I don't blame anyone for it because I was weird.
Yeah,
Like
I
I did
guess.
not have a filter. I still have. I'm admit. I feel like I sometimes still have trouble with a filter nowadays. But if you knew me in high school, I was like I'm pretty convinced that a lot of people thought I was a nut job.
I always get worried people think like if I'm because like I know in person I tend to be like really quiet unless I'm with people that I know really well. So I just worry most of the time people think I'm just this like quiet dork who seems
I
really.
never thought much of that. It's like, I mean, people want to be quiet. They can be quiet. There's nothing wrong with that. I've just always been the opposite. I've always been like really in your face, really awkward, but also very loud.
Jeez. But
So
yeah. So okay. So again, said we were gonna end things off here. So like the
it
episode.
happens every time. It
Yeah.
happens every time.
Yeah, but yeah, we were just saying we were gonna end off. We enjoyed the episodes. Looking forward to the next one. Really interested in finding out who Philip really is.
Yep.
Yep.
And again, we'll be seeing you guys at WonderCon, hopefully.
Yeah. So if you're in Anaheim, again, you see us, please feel free to say hello. Okay, so until next time, if anybody who's watching, if you like this stream or video, please give it a like. Subscribe to the Blood Moon Bobby YouTube channel. Again, for like the 40th time, if you're gonna be in Anaheim at WonderCon, we look forward to seeing you there. So until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby and Gabby, and we'll see you all later.